Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Columbus, Ohio. I'm Nathan Forstoffel. Joining me in the booth today is Hall of Famer Matt Spitz and junior student here at Capital University, Mike Andrasic. Good afternoon and welcome to Bernlohr Stadium. We've got a showdown for the Battle of the Oars between Otterbein University Cardinals and the Capital Comets. What a great day for football here in the capital city, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the weather, it feels like football weather this morning. I mean, being on campus, right here for homecoming, campus is alive, seeing some great friends, former teammates, former coaches, and I think we are, I mean, if you're not ready for this one, the rivalry matchup, crosstown rivalry matchup, you better check your pulse because I think this one's going to hit hard and hit fast, and I like Capital's chances today as they take the field.
A ton of meaning behind this game today. Connections run deep between these schools. Head coach Brian Foos played 39 games on the offensive line in the 90s for the Otterbein Cardinals and would resume in the early 2000s to be the offensive line coach in the Cardinals before taking the position here as head coach of the Capital University Comets. The Comets went 1-2 on their road trip. They fell on the road in a tight one at Heidelberg, 30-27. They had a huge victory at Manchester, 52-27, ran away with that one, and lost at Ohio Northern, 56-0. What do they got to do to get back on the right track today, gentlemen?
You know, I really think as you look over their initial schedule, they are, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think they're 8 points away from being 4-2. And so that I give a ton of credit to Coach Foos and his staff. They are right there. They have taken huge strides this morning this year, And I think, for us today, they're just going to have to play sound football. I think looking at the stats just from the season so far, Otterbein puts up some points. And so they are a good football team. I think their numbers are a little down as we come into, this year. I think their roster isn't as deep as they have been in the past, but they are scrappy. They are a scrappy team, and this just looking at the stats here on the sheet as we get this thing kicked off, it's got the makings to be really a track meet. If they're not careful. So I think one of the keys to the game today is just going to be controlling the tempo. So if you're Coach Foos, we're going to have to put some sustained drives together. And if you're Coach Alexander on the defensive side of the ball, we're going to have to create some turnovers. We're going to have to find a way to get the ball, back into our possession and just control the pace. Because I think, Otterbein already played Mount Union this year, and Mount Union only ran, I think, 48 plays during their game. And so that's not a lot. That's not very high. And Otterbein did a very good job just controlling the tempo there. And so, I think both teams are really going to battle. They're going to scrap to try to control the pace of this game today.
You talked, Matt, about the Otterbein Cardinals being a scrappy team. They can score. They lost last week at Wilmington, 41-54. They put up over 40 points on the board. And as you were talking about that, they have a gunslinger as a freshman quarterback. It's Duke Corley. He went 8 for 18 for 177 yards and 4 touchdowns. Had a 54-yard bomb and only took 1 sack last week. He'll be something that the Comets will need to contain today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like Capital has won the toss and deferred, so we're going to see them on defense right off the jump here. And I had the chance to talk with Charles Alexander, their D coordinator, a little bit this morning, and he is excited for this ball game. I think you're going to see a lot as Capital takes the field. You can probably hear it through the headset, but we are going to see some energy. We're going to see some guys flying to the ball, and I wouldn't be surprised to see some exotic stunts, exotic blitzes. I think Charles got his defense ready to play today.
Passions flying high here in Bexley. This historic matchup predates even some of your maybe favorite conferences around college football. This showdown actually predates the Big Ten Conference, which we do have a team here that might be pretty well known in the city.
Yeah.
This matchup, the battle for the oars, goes all the way back between Otterbein and Capital University to the 1890s. It started as canoe races on Alum Creek. Now, it wasn't until 1927 they had their first meeting here in the Gridiron. Capital did win that meeting 14-0. However, Otterbein leads the overall series by 2 games. Chance today to pull within 1. Current series standings is 48, 46, and 3.
Yeah, and obviously this is one of the games that you circle on your calendar every single year. This is the rivalry game. No matter how maybe if you wish you had a few more wins in the win column, and you show up to this one, if you win this one, this has all the makings to really right your season. I remember when I was playing here, back in the early 2000s, we showed up for, our game against Otterbein, and we had some spray paint, some red spray paint on our field. Just the hatred's real, and the rivalry's real, and so I'm sure we're going to see that play out today. This is the one for all the marbles.
It is homecoming here today in the capital city. We have the opportunity today to induct a few members into the Hall of Fame for this year, including Tom Hausler from a team, Matt, that you would be pretty familiar with in 06.
Yeah, Tom, I cannot say enough about the Hausler family. You've got Tom, you've got Kyle, who was inducted in 2018 to the Hall of Fame, and you've got Sean Hausler as well. They just come from an incredible family. And Tom and Kyle and Sean are some of the best athletes in general to come through this football program. So to see them inducted, Kyle, I think he set the OAC conference record for interceptions. Tom has got a school record for the longest interception return for a touchdown, which is 100 yards. So just watching those guys show up to practice every single day and push themselves and really be incredible examples. Couldn't be more proud for Tom this morning. And even Ryan Wood, the basketball player that was inducted, he was here at the same time that we were. And, just huge congrats to all the other inductees. And, yeah, this morning was so special being on campus. So really, really proud to see them inducted and just their impact that they've made on this university.
Big opportunity today in the Comets in this high-flying rivalry matchup. The energy begins to swell here at Bernlohr. 52 degrees here at kickoff.
Football weather.
Bookman readies to kick from right to left. Capital donning their all-purple uniforms and white caps. Otterbein in their throwback cream. Kind of a tanny cream there, and red bottoms, red lids. Almost ready for kickoff. Remember, when you buy Pepsi and Mountain Dew, you are buying local. G&J Pepsi, local products, global brands. A proud partner of Capital Athletics. This crowd really does show up for the Comets, doesn't it, Matt?
Yeah, it's so good just to peek out of the booth here and see. I mean, this stadium's packed. I mean, there are more people rolling in, and we're just getting ready to put foot to football here. But there are more people rolling into the stadium now. You can feel the energy. The rivalry's real, and excited to get this one underway.
From right to left goes Bookman, end-over-end kick. He sends it to the way of Bales. Bales bringing it up the near side, dodges a tackler, and goes down at the 22. Good coverage there from the Comets to start the game.
Yeah, great start for Capital's coverage team. You can tell there's a lot of energy. Guys are already jawing back and forth between one another, and I think the juices are flowing as Capital's defense takes the field. I would not be surprised to see an exotic blitz here right off the jump. And, man, you can just tell the energy is here. The energy's real. The rivalry's real. And, yeah, excited to see Charles Alexander and his unit try to slow down this Otterbein offense.
1st and 10 for the Cardinals. Corley starting in the gun. Flanked by Griffin on his right hip. Heavy pressure from Capital up front. Run does go to Griffin. Griffin rumbles forward for a couple. He'll make his way out to the 27.
Yeah, and right on cue, we saw everybody blitz from the defensive side of the ball. All front 7 tried to get into the backfield. Otterbein just ran off left tackle there and ran away from the blitz. I wonder if they were almost expecting something right off the first play.
Otterbein moving quickly now. 20 seconds left on the play clock. Pushing the tempo goes Corley. 4 receiver set. Pateke moving from left to right. Snap goes into the belly of Griffin. Griffin rumbles forward. He'll pick up a couple, and he'll make his way out to the 32, 1 yard short of the marker. 3rd down upcoming for the Cardinals. Burnlore Stadium already rising. Capitals showing pressure. Corley calls for the football, now stands up and looks for the play call. Griffin moves from the left to the right. Corley barks out instructions to his offensive line. Corley takes the snap, 2-step drop, looking to this near side, and it is broken up. Play on the football was the safety Bailey, and it'll be 4th down. Cardinals will have to punt, flag down near the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Bailey Johnson was in one-on-one coverage. He was on an island, and he absolutely rose to the occasion, made an excellent play on the football, made sure he got his head turned around to see the ball as it came into the Otterbein receiver, and made a great play on the ball. Looks like some penalty. There'll be an extended penalty here on the play against Capital.
Roughing the passer there at the end of the play. Will move the football out to the 47. Three receiver set for the Cardinals. Corley goes back in the gun, his heels at the 42. Snap goes to Corley. It's a give to Griffin once again. Griffin, tough run in between the tackles. And he'll muscle his way into Capital territory to the 48.
Yeah, Otterbein's game plan really from the kick, from their opening possession and their throughout this drive here has really been pretty straightforward. They've taken their one deep shot down the field, but it looks like their game plan has been inside zone, handing off, and they're running between the tackles really to start this game.
Otterbein moving quickly once again. Corley calls Bales back in the backfield. He'll get the ball. He'll sprint out to the side. Only ran out of room, only a couple there. He'll make his way to the 47.
Yeah, and this is a really key play in this drive. We've got 3rd down and maybe 4, 3, 4 maybe to go, 4, 5 even now. This is a huge opportunity for Charles Alexander and his defense to get off the field. Otterbein is just steadily, historically through the season, this is how they have operated. They just sustain drives. They don't turn the ball over. They're not making penalties. And this is an opportunity for Cap to really disrupt that.
Capel shows pressure. They go back to Griffin. Griffin with the jump cut, and he'll dive forward to the 35. Big run to pick up the 1st down.
Yeah, Otterbein's trying to go quick here. They know they got Capital on their heels. They're right back on the football.
Fast substitutions there as Corley barks out instructions again. Heels at his 40, takes the snap. They go right back to Griffin. Griffin, another jump cut, and he just rumbles through the middle for 8. Down to the 22, 27.
Yeah, just initially, Capital seeming to have a little bit of trouble with the run fit in terms of just slowing Otterbein's offense down. They've had a couple runs off tackle. They've had a sweep. We've seen one shot down the field already, but everything else has really been between the tackles, and almost makes me think back to Baldwin Wallace, the game against Baldwin Wallace earlier in the year, and their straightforward run attack.
Snap again goes into the belly of the running back. This time it's the freshman DiLorenzo, and DiLorenzo picks up the 1st down. Mike, is this what you would expect out of this Otterbein offense, controlling this pace here?
Honestly, I'm not surprised seeing their running back duo. Griffin, you look at him, he's 6'1", 230, very physical back. I think they're establishing it here early.
Corley in the gun, takes the snap, looking to the left, finds his target, Menge, And Mengi will pick up the first down there. Good pitch and catch there from Mengi. Otterbein moving now into the red zone. They'll place the ball just inside the 10 at the 9. 10:38 left to play here in this first quarter. Nice little drive for the Cardinals. That was extended by the roughing the passer penalty back in their own end.
Yeah, I would really love to see Cap's defense just firm up a little bit, bend but don't break, maybe hold Otterbein to a field goal attempt here to start.
Harrington moving from the right to the left. Corley fakes the handoff. He'll take it himself. Rumbles up the middle, and the ball's out! They say it's Capital football! Bend, don't break. Thank you very much. Matt Spitz, the fortune teller there.
Well, it's excellent. I mean, that just goes back to the culture. That goes back to the values that Charles Alexander's instilled in these guys. And they're scrapping. Otterbein, give all the credit in the world to Otterbein. Their drive was very sustained, very methodical all the way down the field. But Charles has got his guys dialed in, and they looked for an opportunity to punch that ball out, and they absolutely took advantage of it. And, we're backed up against our end zone, but I'm really excited to see Tyler Love take the field and show off his wheels, show off his arm as Capital takes the ball.
First mistake for the freshman Corley. Capital will be looking to capitalize on those today. Snap goes quickly to Love. Love gives it to Kasim Johnson. Johnson just gives him a little bit of space out to the 5 on first down. Johnson, the 155-pound junior from Tampa, Florida, Robinson product, getting the start today after Zion Solomon was a scratch.
Yeah, unfortunate to see Zion not be able to take the field today, but I really like Kasim Johnson and his athletic ability.
Love looking for his favorite target, Yonker, and Yonker can't quite lay out for it.
Yeah, Nate Yonker has absolutely been a staple for Capital's offense, especially in the passing game today. He had a step on Otterbein's corner down Otterbein's sideline, just a little overthrown by Tyler Love. But I love the aggressiveness right off the bat. We got a little bit of a breather coming off of our own goal line and taking a shot early, trying to set the tone and establish that. I love Coach Foose and his aggressiveness.
Third down and 8. Love pumps, takes a snap as Wesley Armstead checks into the game. Love under pressure at first, surveys. He throws it out for Johnson, and Johnson can't hang on. Huge play there for the linebacker, Troy Montgomery, who went up and made him play on the football, and the Comets will have to punt.
Yeah, really, really unfortunate. Obviously, Kasim Johnson's one of the most athletic guys that we're going to see today, and as he went up for that ball, just unfortunate he wasn't able to pull it down, and obviously, that means we've got a punt here.
Love did stand strong in the pocket. He went through his progression. It was almost looking Armstead's way early. Back to receive now for the Cardinals. Looks like that's Jason Walker ready for the return. Punt wobbly, lands at their own 40. It will take a Capital bounce, rolling to about midfield, and that's where the Cardinals will take over. 9:13 left to play here in this first quarter. We have a timeout by the Comets. We'll step aside. Tie score here in the battle for the oars. Welcome back to Bexley, Ohio. Cardinals taking over here at the 50 in a tie game with the Capital Comets. Snap goes quickly out to Mengi. Mengi, he'll fight his way forward, getting a huge help from his teammate, and he'll pick up 13 there on first down. Mengi fighting for all those extra yards.
Yeah, backing up to the punt. Great job by Ethan Graham. I mean, he just caught that in one step, punted the ball out of the shadow of his own goal line there to let Otterbein start at midfield. Would like to see the Comets do a little bit better job just tackling and setting the tone on defense here.
Snap goes quickly to DiLorenzo. DiLorenzo dives forward. Cardinals have been dominant up front to start this game.
They really have. I mean, it's just methodical. It's straightforward. There's nothing fancy here. And Otterbein is really essentially doing what they want on offense to start this one.
We were talking before the game on both sides in the trenches for the Cardinals. They have some large guards and tackles up front to aid with that push, and you're seeing it here early. 2nd and 3, 8 minutes to play. Give again is to DiLorenzo. DiLorenzo stood up that time. We just talked about the push. Didn't get much there. It'll be 3rd down, no gain.
Yeah, Cyrus Burden in on that last tackle. It's great. Great to see Capitals front 7 kind of disrupting, getting off of the initial blocks, and meeting Otterbein's running back in the backfield. We got to see some more of that to slow them down.
3rd down, Comets showing pressure again. Zane Dooning checking into the game. He's wide on the near side. 3 receiver set. Corley takes the snap. The give again is to DiLorenzo. DiLorenzo banging his way forward inside the 25, and then he'll move the chains.
Yeah, this has just been a rock fight, initially. I mean, it is line up, strap the chin strap on, and we are going straight forward, and just a absolute battle in the trenches. Otterbein has taken it to Capitol so far. Would love to see maybe let's get a little more creative, in the pass rush and Cap's front 7 to try and disrupt what Otterbein is doing on offense so far.
Corley in the gun, 3 receivers set. He'll fake the handoff, roll to his left. Now he'll tuck it and run. His first run, his first carry after the fumble, and he'll get inside the 10. Huge pickup on 1st down. Clock winding, under 6.5 left to play here in the first quarter. Otterbein looking to go quickly again. First and goal, Cardinals. They'll line up in the pistol. 2 receiver set on the near side. Snap. Corley puts it in the belly of his running back, and he'll fight his way down to the goal line. That was Griffin back in the play. He'll get down to the 2. Substitution now for the Comets. And head coach Brian Foos is going to have to take a timeout. They had too many guys on the field. Confusion there for the Comets.
Yeah, a little bit of a substitution error. I don't know if they were wanting to bring a larger body, rotate their personnel in on defense to try to slow down Otterbein's rushing attack. But they're going to get that sorted out. And kudos to Coach Foos for just saying, hey, listen, we got to get this straight. Let's take a few seconds and figure this out.
We'll step aside. Your score's 0-0 here. The Capital Comets taking on the Cardinals. We'll step aside. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Or if we're struggling to find a defense or offensive player, that's a good place to. Welcome back to Columbus, Ohio for the Battle of the Oars here between the Cardinals and the Comets. 0-0 is your score with the Cardinals driving. Griffin to left hip of Corley. The give is to Griffin, and Griffin walks in for the score. And we have our first pay dirt of the game, 6-0 Cardinals. They've been leaning on low all this first quarter, and it finally pays off for them. They've controlled most of the clock and most of the running game. 5:42 left to play here in this first quarter.
Yeah, there's been nothing flashy. I mean, nothing that has made me say, wow, they're really trying to mix this up or catch Capitol off guard. It's literally been line up, run inside the tackle, and our guys are bigger than your guys, and see if you can stop us. I mean, that's really that's the game plan so far.
Belandra puts it up and through, and it is 7-0.
Would love to see Capital's offense get into a little bit more of a rhythm and almost give a taste of Otterbein's medicine. Give that back to them a little bit. I'd love to see them start a drive, sustain a drive, control the clock. As the first quarter is winding down here, I'd love to see Capital maintain possession. Maybe get the ball out of Tyler Love's hands quickly and get it into their athletes' hands. Maybe with some quick passing game, just to get him into a little bit of a rhythm, get Tyler Love into a rhythm a little bit more, and then obviously it starts and ends with their offensive line. So we're gonna need to see either an attitude adjustment. I don't know if it's scheme necessarily, but these guys are gonna have to just make a decision that, hey, we are gonna put our heads down and we're gonna try to make something happen up front.
Johnson and Haynes back to receive deep for the Comets. They'll kick it short to the up man. It's fielded, and he takes it to the left side, near side, outside the 30. And that's where the Comets will start, is at the 32. That was the linebacker, Marcus Young Jr. there on special teams with a nice return for the Comets.
Yeah, if you're on that return team, I mean, even if you're not one of the deep return men, you got to be ready. And credit to Marcus for being ready to just take the ball and make a play. And they're starting, on the 32-yard line. It looks like way ahead of the sticks, way ahead of the 25. So
better starting field position than their first drive, which started within the 5. Snap goes to Love. It's Johnson cutting left. Johnson with the move. And he'll pick up about 9.5 out to the 41.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier on their first possession that Kasim is probably one of the most athletic guys that we are going to see today. And just allowing him to run off left tackle and give him the ball in space, and he's going to make a man miss. Really hard to bring him down on the open field. So great run by Kasim.
Cocker into the game. He's wide right with Yonker. On the near side, it's Hanukkah and the sophomore L.J. Haynes. Johnson moves to the left hip. It does go to him again. He's got space right. He's got a block. He's across midfield and out of bounds at the 45 of the Cardinals.
And I think we were looking at that. That was another inside handoff, inside zone play. And credit to Kasim Johnson for just his vision, being able to see some open space to the field and capitalize on that. And Capital's moving the sticks. We're into Otterbein territory, and would love to see them continue to just sustain this drive and get in the end zone.
Johnson flares out to the near side. Empty set now for Love. Love takes the snap. It's a design quarterback draw. Love takes it up the middle, and he'll pick up 7 on first down. A nice gain. Good to see Wesley Armstead there in on the play. He's been in for a couple snaps now. Picked up a knock a couple weeks ago. Jamie Bolo started in his stead last week. He'll see some action today.
I love the design by Coach Fu, spreading Otterbein's defense out and just turning Tyler Love's legs loose, and he did some damage on that play.
Love looking to his right, and he overthrows Yonker. They brought Armstead in motion and couldn't quite connect with his favorite target on the far side.
Yeah, and Coach Foose had mentioned that in pregame this morning. We'd like to see the completion percentage a little bit higher from Love, and that one seemed like a pretty routine throw, but was just off the mark.
Three receivers set, all on the near side. Love in the gun as Cucker comes in motion inside. It goes into the belly of Johnson, and Johnson is swallowed up. Couldn't convert on 3rd and 2, lost a couple back to the 40.
And this is a really interesting spot on the field. I know that Coach Foose is looking at his play sheet on the sideline. I would not be surprised. Looks like the offense is staying on the field. They're definitely going to go for it. 4th and 5 here. This is a pivotal point. I know it's super early in the game. This is pivotal for Capital just to maintain momentum and continue to move the sticks. This is a big play.
The first quarter is almost completely bled away here in this 4th down. We're just about to approach the 3-minute mark.
Got single coverage here to the bottom of the field. See if they look this way.
That's Preston Hanukkah. Snap goes to Love. He rolls to his left. He'll pick it up with his legs, and he'll skirt inside the 30. First down by the Comets. Smart play by the junior.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Nathan. Love the play design. What did Coach Foose do there? He set the formation to the boundary, left a ton of space on this side, Capital sideline, and just put the ball in his athlete's hands and allowed really Tyler to make a decision in terms of, do I throw? If it's not there, I keep it, and it's dangerous. Now we're looking at a 2 QB set. We've got Tyler Love in the formation to the bottom of the formation Capital sideline. We'll see what happens here.
That's the freshman quarterback Lineberger in the backfield. Give us to Johnson on the end around. Johnson strung out, not much there. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage at the 30.
Yeah, not a super efficient play there by Capital's offense, but I absolutely love the 2 QB look because that just expands your playbook that much more. You've got one more athlete on the field. You've got an opportunity for a handoff, double passes. I mean, you can really, really get creative, with 2 QBs on the field. We'll see if they continue to leverage that personnel package going forward. I like the look.
Lineberger, his first appearance here at home at Bernlohr Stadium, the Sugar Land, Texas product, as Love goes quickly to Yonker. Yonker following his blockers, and he'll pick up the first down inside the 20. Good play design there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, love the tunnel screen look. I mean, essentially that's what we're doing. We're putting the ball in athletes' hands, and Yonker has been a staple all season long, really dangerous when he gets his hands on the ball, and Capital first down. So, again, we talked right before Capital took the field for this possession. I would love to see them just sustain the drive, and they've done that. They've played clean. We haven't seen any penalties. They're moving the football, and we got to get in the end zone.
Hanukkah wide left, Yonker wide right, 2-back set. It does go to Johnson. Johnson breaking tackles, and he'll pick up a couple down to the 15. Brandon Hamrick Jr. came to the game to help with the push. Hamrick now subbing in for Haynes. 3-receiver setup coming. 30 seconds left to play. Comets do have to snap it before the change of the quarter. Love in the gun. 3-receiver set. Sends Haynes in motion, and it'll give it to Haynes. Haynes around the left side. Haynes down to the 10. Little short of the first down, but he'll shut up third and manageable.
Yeah, we're going to see the first quarter come to a close, but, again, I really, really like what Capital has done to mix up formations, sustain the drive, and we'll see them punch the ball into the end zone to kick off the second quarter.
This has been the end of the first quarter. The Otterbein Cardinals leading the Capital University Comets 7-0. Comets on the doorstep. We'll step aside. Welcome back to Bernlohr Stadium. It's homecoming here in the capital city. Your home Comets are trailing the Otterbein Cardinals 7-0, but they're knocking on the door at the 11-yard line. It's 3rd down and 2. Tyler Love and company not far off from tying this game. It will be Hamrick Jr. coming back into the game in the backfield to flank Love. The freshman has seen action throughout this season in this 2-receiver set. That's the 2 tight ends, Renz and Cucker on the left side. The give is to Hambrick. Hambrick pushing his way, and it looks like they'll give him the first down. He was initially stopped but kept his legs churning, and he'll get there.
Yeah, it almost looks like they're about a foot short or 6 inches short. The ref is holding up the 4th down signal, and that offense is not budging. They are going to absolutely stay on the field, and you would think Capital would be able to bring some bodies in, bring some personnel in to punch the ball forward 6 inches, but be interesting to see formation and personnel that Coach Foose rolls with here to convert on 4th down.
They do mark it just short and are in the gun. Cardinals crowding the line. Snap again goes to Hambrick. Hambrick bounces off a tackler in the backfield, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Comets! That's what the doctor ordered, and that's how you respond here in the early second quarter.
Yeah, again, we're seeing just a pretty steady dose of the inside zone, inside handoff, and Hambrick, actually all the credit goes to him. He made an Otterbein defender miss in the backfield, made another linebacker miss after he crossed the line of scrimmage and then just ran to daylight. And give him a ton of credit. That was a nice little change of pace in the backfield for Capital's offense. And we're tied at 7. Well, looks like there was a whistle on the play after the extra point went through. We'll see. They're going to back that up and try that extra point one more time. But for Capital, just to be able to take the initial blow from Otterbein, turn around, put a beautiful sustained drive together, several conversions on 3rd and 4th down, and to tie the score at 7 says a lot about character, a lot about how much these guys want to win this game. And unfortunately, the extra point just hit the upright, and Otterbein is still ahead by 1, 14-10 left in the second quarter.
So Ethan Graham, the freshman, came in. We haven't received an update here on Ty Bookman. We haven't seen him in on these last couple possessions. That false start after Ethan converted on the first extra point attempt, nullified it. That false start was on the left guard, Will Adkins, and it was just enough to move it far enough back that it goes off the uprights. Tough first outing there for Ethan.
Yeah, that's tricky, and in a game of this importance, this is it's essential. It's a rivalry game. It's got all the makings to turn into a track meet here, and every single point matters. I mean, it's going to come down to just execution. It might come down to who has the ball last, with a chance to win there at the buzzer. But every single point matters, and unfortunate weren't able to convert there on the extra point. But hopefully Capital's defense will be able to create another turnover and really prevent Otterbein's offense from getting into a groove as they take the field.
That touchdown caps off a 6-minute and 26-second drive as Graham sends it end over end. It's caught at the 5, and it's brought out, and it's brought to the right. And Otterbein will return it out to the 29, and that's where the Cardinals will start. That was Braden Bales there on the return. Time of possession roughly even this game, about 7 to 8 minutes. Comets looking to stop this dynamic run game here from the Cardinals. DiLorenzo back in the game. He'll flank Corley. 3 receivers set with Walker and Bales on the near side. Comets showing pressure once again. Corley gets out of his hands quickly. Finds Menji. Menji is thrown to the ground, but not before a 7-yard pickup. They'll give him 6 out to the 36.
Yeah, and you can see Capital's front 7. They shifted right before the snap. They are bringing more guys to fill the box and really try to prevent Otterbein's run game initially. Kudos to Otterbein's offensive coordinator for just getting the ball out of Corley's hands quickly.
Corley in the pistol. He'll give it for DiLorenzo, who's brought down for a loss. Back at the 33.
Yeah, that is what we needed to see. Wesley Armstead just shot the gap and has done really something that Capital hasn't really been able to do yet on offense, and that's disrupt Otterbein's run before it even gets started. And so kudos to them. We got Otterbein's back against the wall, 3rd and long. And, Capital's defense, we're starting to figure it out, and great to see them come alive on that 2nd down attempt.
Burnlore Stadium comes back alive. Line to gain on 3rd down is the 39. Snap goes to Corley. Corley looking right and overthrows Menji. And the Cardinals will have to punt for the first time today.
Yeah, chalk that up as a win for Capital's defense for sure. I mean, as much as Otterbein did whatever they wanted on their first offensive possession, to see Capital come in and force a 3-and-out is a win. Charles Alexander's got to be pumped for his defense, and it's going to force Otterbein to get a little bit more creative on offense, and I think that will play into Capital's hand for sure.
Carson Blank into the game for the punt. Johnson back to receive his heels on the 27. Clean kick, line drive, spiraling. Johnson gets out of the way, doesn't feel it on the bounce, and it'll take a friendly Cardinal roll inside the 15 and downed at the 13-yard line. Comets, again, starting deep in their territory.
Yeah, it's almost unfortunate. I think there was space there to actually grab the punt off the bounce, and that would have saved probably, if there was any sort of return there, you probably saved 20 yards plus or minus on, where Tyler Love is going to take the snap on this drive. So, judgment call. I totally understand trying to play it safe and conservative, but big yardage swing there in terms of where Capital will start from their 11 or 11, 12, looks like, 13.
Yeah, looks like they'll give him the 13. Love starting in the gun. Officials holding up play. It's Armstead and Yonker on the near side. Preston Hanukkah, the Cincinnati native, with the lime green cleats today. He'll be easy to find throughout the day today.
Green shoes, pink gloves, and he'll be easy to spot. Single coverage to the top.
Johnson moves from the right to the left. Snap goes to Love. He'll spin, roll to his right. Looking downfield for Yonker. Yonker, he'll connect at the 45. Huge play. Comets going vertical early.
Looks like there's a flag on the play. Really, really unfortunate. We'll see what the call is here. Oh, bummer.
Ineligible man downfield. That's again on the left guard, Will Adkins from MacArthur, Ohio. The 265-pound junior with his 2nd penalty of the day.
Yeah, just unfortunate. Love the play design. There was a lot of options there for Tyler Love to look at. Offensive lineman just got a little bit too far down the field and really wiped out a significant gain for Capital's offense.
Haynes back into the game as part of a 4-receiver set as Armstead comes in motion. The give is to Johnson. Johnson up the middle. Not much sledding there. He'll pick up a couple out to the 11. You just felt the air leave the stadium after that penalty.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that is super unfortunate. Again, love the play design. You get to roll Tyler Love out of the pocket, which occupies the linebacker's eyes, right, because he's such a threat on the ground. And for, credit the offensive line there, giving Tyler Love the chance to throw deep. Fortunate it came back.
Pitches out to Johnson on the near side. Johnson fights his way out to just past the 20, and that'll make it 3rd manageable.
Yeah, that's great. For the offense to recover after such a setback like that, to just turn 2 positive plays in and create a 3rd and manageable deep in our territory. I like the response. I think Capital's offense has gotten into a nice little rhythm. They figured some things out, and I would not be surprised if Coach Foose will put his players in the right position to pick up this first down and keep the drive alive.
Love back of the gun, takes the snap, gave us to Johnson in the short yardage situation. He's strung out, couldn't make a man miss, and he'll be a couple yards short. Comets will have to punt from their own end.
Yeah, just a little bit too deep in the territory to really go for it confidently. 4th and 3, I think, and way too deep in our territory. Kasim Johnson has been an absolute threat and has been somebody that Coach Foose has relied on, but great play by the Otterbein defense. Kasim Johnson in space is not something that I would want as an assignment on defense, and they made a great play to bring him down.
Snap goes to the freshman quarterback. That's Lindberger, who skies it, and it'll be fielded at the 42. Late penalty there. We'll see if this will go against the Cardinals or against the Comets. There was a tussle at around the 30. See what the call is.
I would expect this to go on Otterbein. I think, obviously we'll see the call here.
Personal foul. Offense number 86. Foul. Defense number 7. Those fouls offset. First down.
We have offsetting penalties there.
Yeah, and obviously it's well documented. These schools do not like one another. This is a rivalry game. Guys are chippy. Guys are talking. They've probably been going back and forth on social media all week long, maybe longer than that, leading up to this game. And, we finally get to strap it up, put the helmets on, and get out there on the field, and you're seeing some of that boil over a little bit. But, me personally, I like it. I like to see Capital just approach this game with that attitude and that swagger, and we want to come out of here with a win. So.
You and every other player that's been in the booth. Corley takes the snap. It's different when you've been a part of the game. When you've been a part of it, when you've been in the trenches of it, you know exactly how much it means to these programs, to these schools, right? To these student bodies at large, right?
Yep.
And to the region, right? I mean, it's a huge matchup here in the OAC.
Mm-hmm.
Corley back in the gun, flanked by Griffin. Griffin and DiLorenzo have been splitting time today. As Griffin gets hit in the backfield, tries to spin away from one tackler, and he'll lose a few there on second down all the way back to the 48.
Yeah, guys, here in the booth, feel free to jump in and share a little bit more, but we saw Capital's front seven just perfectly time that snap. They were in the backfield as soon as the ball was snapped, and that actually turned into a significant loss for the Otterbein offense. And so I think Capital's defense is starting to figure out what Otterbein's wanting to do on offense. We're seeing a lot of high fives on Capital's sideline right now. And, it's going to force Otterbein to get out of their comfort zone and figure out another way to attack this Capital defense.
Snap goes to Griffin. Griffin finds a hole up the middle. He rumbles forward, and he'll be a yard short of the first down. 4th down and short. Huge run for Griffin. He just barrels his way through that line.
Yeah, he's done an excellent job of running between the tackles today. And, I'm sure that's a really, really large part of their game plan going forward. So, we'll see if Capital can bow their backs here and stop them on 4th and short.
Griffin makes a cut to the left. He's streaking towards the end zone. Touchdown, Cardinals. Roberts tried to track him down, couldn't quite get there. Sometimes in those 4th and short plays, you put so much resources in the middle. It provided the opportunity for Griffin to make the jump cut and get outside.
Yeah, and Otterbein did a great job of just putting a hat on a hat. I mean, that's exactly it. It was a numbers game to the field side from where the snap was. It was a numbers game. Otterbein put their offensive line on the defensive line's hats, and it was a numbers mismatch, and so Otterbein just broke loose and converted.
Belandra puts it up and through and off the scapuline, and it's good. 14-6 is the lead. Still a one-score game. Obviously a touchdown and a two-point conversion for the Comets ties it up. 8:39 left to play here in the second quarter. Plenty of time for another drive here for the Comets. Otterbein with 3 timeouts remaining, their full complement. Comets did have to burn one earlier in the half. They only have 2 remaining. New returners in for the Comets. Looks like it's Marcel and Haynes back deep at the 10 to receive.
Mike, I don't know if you'd be able to speak into like what's kind of the attitude been around campus, like leading up to this rivalry game.
It always means a lot, coming from an athlete's perspective and a student's perspective. This game, it means a lot to everybody, and even the fans. It's the one game a year that everybody gets into.
Marcel receives on the near side. He'll bring it up to about the 27, and that's where the Comets will take over. Flag down at the 38. Good return there from Marcel. We'll wait for the call. Looks like it will go against the Comets as they retreat towards their own end zone.
Mike, has there been anything unique to just events on campus or leading up to homecoming week or Otterbein week that you've enjoyed?
The homecoming thing, that's always been a good event that the students host on campus. Funny thing, my girlfriend's actually on the homecoming court. So
oh wow!
Oh wow! Congrats.
Hopefully she can pull out the queen.
Love in the gun, takes the snap, looks for Yonker. It was a pitch and catch, couldn't quite come down with it. Went off Nate's hands and out of bounds harmlessly.
Yeah, really uncharacteristic. I mean, that was a really simple 10-yard out route to Yonker. They probably installed that one of the first days of fall camp, probably. And just really, really uncharacteristic Yonker on that play.
Hambrick Jr. into the game as the back. Gucker back in the game as the tight end. 4 receivers set. 3 on the far side, 1 on the near side. It's Yonker all by himself. The give is to Hambrick. Hambrick not much sledding up front. Maybe got a yard. Out to about the 15. That'll bring up 3rd down and 9. Comets looking for an opportunity to extend the drive. Trailing by a score here midway through the second quarter. Love in the gun. 3 receivers set. Takes the snap, rolls to his left. Looking downfield. That's Armstead. Armstead tried to play the ball.
Flag. Unbelievable. I am really in shock up here in the booth. It looked like Otterbein's defender ran through Armstead's back to get to that ball. I am really, really surprised there was no flag on that play.
It falls incomplete. I think it was Elijah Mason there, the corner, that was running with Armstead. And the Comets will have to punt. Comet faithful here not happy with the no call.
Really, really unfortunate there. Would like to see Capital flip the field here and just help their defense try to get out ahead of Otterbein's offense attack.
Capital keeping the Cardinals honest with putting Lineberger back in there. Lineberger had the pooch kick last time out. This time it will be Ethan Graham on the kick. Ball will roll down to the 40. Cardinals again with good starting field position to start this drive. Mike, field position in this run game have really been the differences so far.
Yeah, really, Otterbein really has the advantage all game from that aspect. You know, they've had great position all game, and they've heavily relied on Griffin to run that ball. And you can see it as soon as he gets the ball, his sheer physical presence within the gaps. You know, he just bounces off tackles. And what I want to see Capital to do is go back to the basic fundamentals, tackle low. You know, when you see our defense, you know, tackle high, that's when Griffin bounces off and gets more yardage.
Yeah, fundamentals are key. Great point.
Corley in the pistol. Give again is to Griffin. Griffin is immediately met at the line. No gain there out to the 40. Good start to the series for the Comets.
That was a great job of Capital's defensive line to just contain that run.
That was DiLorenzo there on the carry. It's funny, you have Griffin and DiLorenzo. Griffin is 23, DiLorenzo 24. Sometimes you dig through the pile, you can't quite pick it out. Both a fairly physically imposing presence there on the field. Corley goes back in the gun. 3-receiver set. Flanked by DiLorenzo on the right. The give is to DiLorenzo. DiLorenzo, full head of steam. It's like they're running downhill today. All the way out to the 47. Nice pickup there to bring up 3rd down and 3.
Yeah, Otterbein, they've got a little bit of a lead. We're watching the second quarter bleed away here, and they are in no rush. Really playing into their overall scheme of just controlling the clock. And it looks like Otterbein's going to be short here. Great play by Capital's front 7.
DiLorenzo hit right at the 48. He'll fall forward to the 49. And now decision time for Otterbein and Coach Marquise. It's about midfield.
Yeah, if I'm Charles Alexander, my spidey sense is absolutely kicking in. This would be a perfect opportunity for Otterbein to run a fake punt here. Just the field position, time of clock left in the quarter, and I would make sure we see the ball snapped here by Otterbein.
Blank with a quick kick. End over end. Fair catch called by Johnson. Learned from his first one there, and he'll field it at the 16.
Yeah.
Capital with a little more breathing room this time.
Yeah, and there's plenty of time. I mean, we have the weapons to consistently – we've seen them do it already today. Consistently move the ball down the field and get into the end zone. Capital's going to receive the ball to start the third quarter as well. You know, and we listen, you know, to a heck of a lot of football during this season, during this time of year, and the middle 8 is really, really important. The last 4 minutes of the second quarter, the first 4 minutes of the third quarter, and, you know, as the way this game has gone, we could probably at the end look back and figure out who did what when in that middle 8, and that might indicate who's going to win this game.
Hambrick Jr. with the carry for no gain on first down. Clock ticking down to about 5 minutes left here in the second quarter. Stop there on the play was Watson. Comets looking to the near side sideline. They'll actually say Hambrick lost a yard there. Back to the 17. Shotgun snap for Love. He'll take it. Looking to his left. Surveys, works through his progressions. Trying to work downfield to his tight end. And he'll sail out of bounds. It was Jake Fitzpatrick in the area.
Yeah, just unfortunate. Capital wasn't able to really get some separation there. They had an excellent protection on the play. Credit the offensive line. Tyler Love had all day to throw the ball. Just weren't able to create the separation needed, and unfortunately had to throw it away.
Sonny Ward, the freshman, checking into the game. Wide receiver from Norwood, Ohio. Love back in the gun. Otterbein showing some pressure. takes the snap. Love looks like he was hit as he threw it. Ball flutters towards Yonker. Yonker just had to play defense. Capital wanting a flag as Yonker got hit late, and he'll limp off the field. Rough break there for the Comets. Yonker did exactly what you're supposed to do as a receiver in a jump ball situation there. He wasn't in an ideal position to come down with it, and so he prevents the interception.
Yeah, and I think what Capital, I mean, you could probably hear it through the headset. I think what Capital's fan base is so upset about is while the ball was in the air, there was a ton of hand fighting going on. And so I think they were definitely looking for, at least a holding call, if not a pass interference call, and we just haven't gotten one so far.
Punt from Graham, lands at the 50, takes a Comet bounce for a couple more yards to the 47.
Yeah, we need to do a little bit of sleuth work here on the sideline as a broadcast team, but figure out, I don't know where Ty Bookman is, if he's sick today, but historically throughout this season, he has done an excellent job of flipping the field and really helping to propel Capital's defense. And yeah, obviously today, I'm sure I don't know what the stats are, right off the top of my head, but I'm sure that, the average punt has just hasn't been the same as Bookman's stats earlier and throughout the season.
Corley and the Cardinals take the field, takes the snap, busted play, he'll just pull it, and he'll pick up, even on a busted play, picks up 8 on the quarterback draw. Matt Griffin is now the back in the game. They've had a solid rotation today between Griffin and DiLorenzo. Zane Dooning back in the game. For the Cardinals, 3:53. Cardinals content to let this clock wind a little bit. Don't want to give the Comets an opportunity to get a twofer, double dip in the last 4 here, the first, and as Matt said, the first 4 in the second. Comets do receive to start the second half. It is Dooning here on the near side, 3-receiver set. The snap to Corley. It's a run by Griffin. Griffin, not a whole lot there, but enough to pick up the first down. They'll move the chains. 3 minutes and 15 seconds left to play here in the second quarter. DiLorenzo back into the game for the Cardinals. Comets looking to bow their backs. Cardinals have shown that this area of the field, if they're close enough, is 4-down territory all day. Corley takes the snap. Guess who? DiLorenzo. DiLorenzo up the middle. He'll pick up a couple to the 40.
Yeah, Capital's got to figure out whatever they can do to keep Otterbein off the scoreboard. I mean, Otterbein has just absolutely dictated what they have wanted to happen all day, and it's playing right. Their pace of play is playing right into their strategy, and so I could see them being conservative, walking up to, as they creep closer to the end zone, but got to keep them off the scoreboard here before half.
Corley looking into the far side. Huge hit there on the completion. Menji came down with it for about an 8-yard gain. Still stopped short of the sticks. It'll be 3rd down and short as we reach the 2-minute timeout. Mike will check OAC scores from around the country in 30 seconds. Capital Athletics is sponsored by Jimmy John's, a proud supporter of the Comets. Order today at jimmyjohns.com. Don't forget, do you know when you buy a Pepsi, you're buying local? From Pepsi to Mountain Dew and everything in between, G&J Pepsi brings you products that are oh so refreshing and Ohio bottled. G&J Pepsi, local products, global brands, a proud partner of Capital Athletics. As we kick to OAC scores. Matt, Capital coming here in the second quarter. They have 3rd down and 3. Obviously 4-down territory here for the Cardinals, as they've shown.
Yeah, I mean they have just come into the game plan, and it's feeding the theme of what they have done. They're pretty one-dimensional. They have the ability to throw deep if they want to. I think Corley's got a pretty strong arm, but what suits them the best is just running in between the tackles and controlling the game plan. They don't have a deep roster. I mean, you look across the field, there are not a ton of guys over there. And so you've got to do what you're best at and put your guys in a position to be successful with what you have, and they have played that very well today so far.
3rd down and 3 goes to Griffin. Griffin rumbles forward to the 21, picks up a 1st down. They brought in a pretty heavy set, only 2 receivers wide out.
Yeah, you know what's going to happen. I mean, it's hand the ball off, and Capitals just hasn't really been able to figure out how to slow that down. We've seen some bright spots, from time to time, but as straightforward as the offensive design has been from Otterbein, it's just my guys versus your guys, and we're going to see who comes out on top, and Otterbein's winning the battle so far.
Guess who it went to? It's Griffin on the far side. Griffin lowers his shoulder, and the ball came out. And that's Comet football. They'll say the Cardinals got a timeout before that play.
Oh, wow.
They let that play run pretty far with that. Disappointing turn for the Comets, who that would have been their 2nd turnover forced in the red zone.
Yeah.
We'll step aside for 30 seconds. Cardinals leading the Comets 14-6. Welcome back to Bexley. There's 1:18 left to play here in the second quarter in the battle for the oars. Otterbein leading the Capital Comets 14-6 and driving. Corley in the gun. It's 2nd down and 6. Fakes the pitch. He'll give it to DiLorenzo. DiLorenzo finding his way down inside the 5. He'll pick up a 1st down, and it will be 1st and goal for the Cardinals.
Looks like Otterbein's going really quick here to get back on the ball. They're trying to they're sensing blood in the water, and they're trying to jump on it.
Quick snap, and DiLorenzo is swallowed. No gain there on the play. 2nd and goal. 55 seconds and counting. They were trying to grow quickly and maybe weren't set up for success. Quick subs here from the Cardinals. Would expect to see maybe some subs from the Comets, right, to stall out the clock. Clock now winding to 30 seconds. It's 2nd down and 5. Play clock at 15. Corley takes the snap, gives it to DiLorenzo, who rumbles in. Pinballing off defenders. They'll call him short. They will call him short.
Otterbein really, really quick to call a timeout there and preserve the clock. That clock, with him being short of the goal line, that clock would have just kept running and running. Otterbein very, very smart to jump on that timeout quickly and give them another chance to take a crack at the end zone before half.
And we'll step aside. 21 seconds left to play. Otterbein leading the Comets 14-6. Welcome back to Columbus, Ohio, here at homecoming on the Capital University campus. Otterbein with the ball, 3rd and 1. A yard out of the goal, 21 seconds left to play. 1 timeout left remaining for the Cardinals as the snap goes to Griffin, and he stopped short. Swallowed up, and it'll be 4th down. Huge play there for the Capital defense. Looked like it was Marcus Young Jr. in there in the play with a convoy. Timeout by the Cardinals. We'll step aside with 10 seconds left to play here in the second quarter. Welcome back to Bexley. It is 14-6. Cardinals leading the Comets. It is 4th down and goal for the Cardinals. 10 seconds left to play here in the second quarter. Griffin is flanking Corley. 2 receivers set. And we'll now have a timeout by the Comets. They got to see the formation and we'll step aside. 14-6. Cardinals lead the Comets. Welcome back. 10 seconds left to play. Otterbein leading the Comets 14-6 here in the second quarter. Almost halftime here in the capital city of the Buckeye State. Corley in the gun with Griffin. Corley looking to throw, and it's incomplete. Capital holds, and it'll be a 1-score game at half.
Yeah, that is absolutely a massive win for Charles Alexander and the Capital defense. Again, we talked about the last 4 heading into half and the first 4 coming out of half, and Capital absolutely chalked that one up as a win, keeping Otterbein out of the end zone and keeping it within essentially a 1-score game. Capital, the ball is in their court, really, coming out of the half. And they have got to figure out, maybe tweak some things at halftime, come out ready in the second half to draw this game even. But all the credit to Capital's defense for not breaking. I mean, we saw the turnover in the first half. Otterbein was close, knocking on the door. Capital creates a turnover. Capital creates a 4th and goal, 4th and short, and keeps them out of the end zone again. And they are scrapping and clawing. Would love to see them, reorient some things on offense and come out swinging here to start the third quarter.
Circle that sequence there. Corley, instead of running the ball, giving it to Griffin there, who's been so dominant here in this first quarter, dropped back to pass, couldn't find Bales or Harrington, who was in that area, and we'll stay at a one-score game going into half. Your score here in the Battle of the Oars, the Otterbein Cardinals leading the Comets 14-6. You're watching Capital Football here on Flow Sports. Good evening, everyone, and welcome back here to Burnlore Stadium here in Columbus, Ohio. For the Battle of the Oars, the Capital Comets are trailing the Otterbein Cardinals 14-6. I'm Nathan Forstoffel. Joining me is the Hall of Famer Matt Spitz and Mike Andrasic, and they'll set you up here for the second half.
Yeah, Mike, I don't know what's kind of jumped off the page for you or jumped off the stat sheet for you as we've looked over the first half. It's been pretty one-dimensional from Otterbein's standpoint, and, Capital it's been pretty gritty to try and snuff out Otterbein's run game. But, from your perspective, Mike, what do you think about how the first half has unfolded?
On paper, Otterbein's just leading the charge. They're controlling the ground game. They have 169 rushing yards compared to Capital's 69. And even the passing, they haven't really relied heavily on the passing game, with Otterbein having yeah, right. When you have that dominant of a running back core, you don't have to. But, I'd like to see Capital's defense to, stick to what they're doing, because Marcus Young is really leading the defense with 8 tackles. Same thing with sorry, excuse me.
Yeah, and I almost think I don't know what's jumping off the stat sheet to you from Capital's offensive standpoint, but they have had a couple of shots downfield that have been open. I think our athletes are creating space, vertically. We just have to be able to connect on a couple of these. Yep. And I know Yonker had a huge pass, probably a 50-yard pass that he caught right in the middle of the field that was negated by a penalty as well. So, I think Capital has some components to really do some damage. They just got to connect.
Uh-oh.
Johnson gives it to Robinson. Robinson breaking free on the end around. He's tripped up at the 30. Huge play as the Comets receive the kick to start the second half. How about that from Coach Foos?
Yeah, and I don't think we could have started better. The only way that could have been better is if he would have taken that all the way to the house to start the second half. But, Capital, I don't know what was said in the locker room, but Coach Foos drew up a little bit of magic in the return game. The reverse, I think, definitely caught Otterbein off guard. And here we are, Capital on Otterbein's 30 to start the second half. And, man, what a way to just infuse some life into the sideline and in the stadium as we get underway here.
Love looking at Yonker on the near side. Yonker tries to break a tackle. He's wrestled down at the 23. Yeah, that kick return, it was received there by Bailey Johnson. Johnson flipped it over to the freshman, Taryn Robinson from Humble, Texas, the Nimitz product, who took it all the way to the Cardinal 30. Setting up this drive, it's 2nd down and 3. Line to gain now is the 20. Love in the pistol. Johnson behind him. 4 receiver set. Johnson now flanked to his right. Johnson does get the ball off the snap. He'll muscle forward and get close to the marker, just short of the 20.
Yeah, nationally, we have all heard about the high school football scene in Texas, and it's so great for Coach Foos to go down into the Lone Star State and pull somebody from Texas, and as a freshman to watch him contribute like that, it's exciting. Hopefully we'll be able to pull a few more recruits from Texas land up here in the offseason. But, man, couldn't have drawn up a better start for Capital here. We have to figure out how to punch it in and tie this ball game up.
Love in the pistol once again with Johnson flanking him. The snap. Johnson does get it. He's hit behind the line. He's able to break free, makes a man miss, and cuts his way. And a very adventurous run past the marker down to the 17. It'll be a first down for the Comets.
Yeah, credit to Kasim on that play. He had somebody in his face in the backfield, and we had talked. I know specifically we mentioned this in the first half, but Kasim Johnson one-on-one in space is a nightmare for any defender in the OAC. And so we saw that on display there. Kasim turned it into a first down, and Capital's keeping the chains moving. They have brought some juice here to start the second half.
Snap to Love in the gun. Finds Johnson. Johnson making an acrobatic catch. He'll pick up a couple down to the 15. You know, you mentioned, Matt, that on this roster we got a couple different guys from Texas, but really this whole roster, there are guys from Tampa, there are guys from Brooklyn, right? It's a fairly diverse roster. Of course, you got your Ohio natives, right? Haneke's from Cincinnati, right? You got Nate Yonkers from Pataskala, right up the road, not far, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you still get a lot of this local grown talent of the 122 guys here in the roster for the Comets. Love takes the snap. Pop goes to Haynes. Handoff there on the end around, down to the 10. They'll give him the 11. And it'll be third down and short. You know, we mentioned those 122 players here for the Comets. Otterbein only has 62, and we begin to question, right, too, as we get later in this game, is that depth, particularly on the defensive side of the ball, going to impact the Cardinals as we continue to get deeper into the second half?
Yeah, it's great. Great insight, you know, Nathan, great observation in terms of just, you know, this has been a physical game in the trenches, you know, so far, and we'll see if Otterbein has enough on their roster to hold up.
Love takes it himself, dodges a defender, and it'll be down inside the 5 to the 4. First down for the Comets.
Yeah, and that was actually another, I mean, we're talking about the kickoff that was returned. That play, that third down conversion was a huge play for Capitals offense to keep the chains moving, and we just couldn't afford to settle for a field goal attempt there, and an excellent conversion by Tyler Love to keep this drive alive and give us a chance to get in the end zone.
Hambrick Jr. into the game. As Love readies to take the snap, Renz goes in motion. Love rolls to his left with Hambrick in front of him. Love cuts in, not much there. Running to the short side of the field, no space for Love to make his way to the paint.
Yeah, I wonder bigger picture if Coach Foose is going to come back and, you know, he's thinking maybe to second or third or even fourth down. I think we're in 4-down territory right here, but yeah, interesting play call to the short side of the field. It just never really developed, but you know, we'll see here. I haven't really seen any personnel change just yet, but I wonder if Tyler Love will go back to the air here to try to get in the end zone.
Love back in the gun, flanked by Hambrick.
It's like single coverage to the top of the field.
And he gives it to Hambrick. Hambrick immediately met by an Otterbein defender. I think that was Trey Jack, the 225, 6'3 sophomore. Clobbers him in the backfield for little gain.
Very, very, very fortunate spot on that play. I think he was brought down about the 14, maybe 13, 14-yard line, but his you know, forward progress was obviously stopped on the 5. Very, very fortunate spot.
Haneke now moving from left to right, 3 receivers set. It's Cucker, Haynes, and Haneke on the near side. Johnson back into the game at tailback. Love takes the snap, looking right, looking left, nothing there. He'll tuck it, he'll dive for the end zone. Touchdown, Love. And the Comets are 2 points away from the lead, or from a tie.
Yeah, and as we go back to that formation, we had 3 receivers to Capital sideline. Tyler was looking to pass there initially. Even Kasim Johnson running out of the backfield as a 4th receiver. He was looking to throw that ball initially. Coverage was pretty solid by Otterbein, and Tyler just took it on himself. He put it on his shoulders to just pull his team within 1 point here and tuck the ball. Look at what the defense gave him. Found green grass and crossed the goal line to bring the Comets back within 1 point. So I know that, you know, we talked a little bit in the first half about completion percentage, and, you know, maybe that stat was a little bit lower than we were hoping for throughout. You know, at this point in the season, we'd hope that completion percentage would be a little bit higher. But I think Tyler Love and just his leadership and just his athletic ability was on full display there, and I'm grateful for just his decision making and grit, really, to pull the football down and just get in the end zone, knowing what his team needed and just doing what his team needed. And here we are within 1 point. We talked going into the half that the final 4 minutes of the second quarter, the first 4 minutes of the third quarter were going to be pivotal if Capital was going to stay in this game. Capital gets a stop on fourth down to close the half, and a huge kickoff return and a sustained drive and some points on the board to start this third quarter. And here we are, 1 point. 1 point separates these two rivals as Otterbein gets the ball back.
Good return there for the Cardinals, just outside the 30. Ethan Graham did knock through the extra point a little too early still in the game for Coach Foos to consider going for two for the tie. Right, so it remains a 14-13 game. Big thing on that last drive, Mike and Matt, is they won the field possession battle, right? You know, you run the reverse there on the kickoff, you get out to the 30. That was something that they struggled with in the first half, and they stayed on schedule, right? They didn't get it a third and long. They were in second and third down and manageable in those situations. Otterbein offense now taking the field. Corley takes the snap. Guess who he gives it to? It's Griffin. Griffin, that time better managed by the Comet defense. He'll only pick up 2 out to the 35. Line to gain is the 43. 8:45 left to play here in this third quarter. Comets took close to 6 minutes off the clock on their last drive. Corley in the gun, flanked by Griffin. Fakes the handoff, throws out wide. He finds Pateki. Pateki, the tight end, makes his way into Capital territory. He'll be taken down at the Capital 43.
Yeah, really interesting wrinkle from Otterbein's offense. We have not really seen them utilize the tight end very much today. And, you know, kudos to Otterbein's staff for maybe regrouping and looking for another opportunity to gain yardage there at halftime. Good adjustment. They haven't really used the tight end very much at all, and that was a big gain for Otterbein.
Pateki, his first reception of the game, they had more yards on that reception through the air than they had in the entire first half. As now the pop pass goes to Bales. Bales with space around the right side, and Bales will get out to close to the first down marker. They'll mark him 8 yards short. It'll be second down and short for the Cardinals. Bryson Roberts in on the play there for the Comets. 7:23 left to play here in the third quarter. Griffin in the backfield once again, 3 receiver set for the Cardinals. Corley. Crowd is wanting a false start there as Corley was barking out instructions to the offensive line. Capital was showing some pressure as Griffin moves from the left side to the right side. Capital does bring pressure. Corley out of his hands quickly, gets the ball to Bales along the near side, and that'll move the chains.
Nice open field tackle there by Bryson Roberts out in the flat. I mean, that's just hard to do as a defender. And I know Otterbein got a first down, but a great play by the defender Roberts there on that one.
Otterbein content to use a lot of this play clock as Dooning is back into the game for the Cardinals. Corley, the give to Griffin. Griffin stutter steps, rumbles his way down to the 21. Line to gain is the 17. Second down.
Yeah, pretty interesting to see Otterbein kind of fall right back into their same rhythm from the first half. I mean, they are doing everything they can to control this clock, control the pace, and I would fully expect, we did see them utilize their tight end up the seam a little bit earlier, but I would fully expect a heavy dose of the run game throughout the rest of this ballgame.
And just as Matt calls it, it goes back to Griffin. Griffin is taken down at the 20, short of the line to gain, and a late flag comes in. Looks like it'll be a hold against the Cardinals. If so, those 10 yards would be huge here going in second down.
Yeah, and we've talked about this from both sides. You know, the drives that have been sustained have been really clean. You know, it's not like there've been a ton of penalties on offense, and then the team is converting again. And so we are, really, hopefully, this is going to kill Otterbein's drive, set them up for, second and 12 or 13 probably. It's what it looks like, and that's just been true to the theme of the game, right? If it's clean. They've been really successful on both sides of the ball, both offenses. And when it hasn't been, obviously there's penalties. It's just things that are setting them back a little bit. So hopefully Capital will be able to take care of business here. Hopefully force them into a 3rd and long. And right now they're out of field goal range for sure. So bodes well for Capital's defense. We'll see how they play it.
2nd down and 14 from the 31. Corley pulls it out, finds a man over the middle. That's Bales again. Bales will pick up the 1st down. He'll make his way inside the 15 down to the 13-yard line. Cardinals are in business in the Capital Comet red zone.
Yeah, nice play design there. I mean, it was just they've had such a heavy dose of the run game. Really nice play action in the backfield, and just taking advantage of the seam, which we saw with their tight end earlier in the drive.
Comets showing pressure as Bales and Walker, the 2 receivers on the far side, Dooning on the near side. Griffin on the right hip of Corley. Corley takes the snap, gives it to Griffin. Griffin up the middle, another flag flies in as he's close to the 1st down. The Cardinals can pick up a 1st down at the 4-yard line. They marked him at the 5.
Another holding, looks like.
Another gift to this Capital Comet defense, which has been so resolute inside the red zone today.
Yeah, they really have. I don't know. I mean, just size, across the board. I don't know how often this will hold up, but Capital absolutely, to this point in the game, has been pretty stout when it gets inside the 5-yard line.
Had a turnover and downs to end the half in the 2nd quarter. And on the first drive of the game, forcing a fumble on Corley's draw. Corley back in the gun. 3 receivers set as Bales comes in motion. The give is to Griffin again. Griffin hitting the backfield. Will take a few defenders for the ride. Then he'll pull them inside the 13. It'll be 2nd down and long here for the Cardinals. Q Russell there on the stop. Defensive tackle. He's a Middletown midi.
Yeah, they do football right in Middletown, that's for sure. I know Jalen Marshall, former Buckeye, came out of Middletown.
Corley takes the snap, fakes the pop pass, gives it to DiLorenzo up the middle, and another flag comes in. Could it possibly be holding 3 in a row? They'll call it on Zane Goglin, the 6'1", 265 junior. That's the left guard, and it'll back him up again. That'll put the ball down at the 23. Remember, the line to gain is the 3-yard line. 3 minutes and 20 seconds left to play in this fast-paced 3rd quarter. As Corley is in the gun once again. Corley takes the snap, pulls it out of the belly of his running back, throws it out in the flat for his tight end, Pataki. Pataki does make the catch at the 20, but for very minimal gain.
Looks like Capital's bringing in a ton of defensive backs. They're anticipating a throw on 3rd and long here. I would be really interesting to see how Otterbein approaches this play right here. I don't know really anything about their kicking game. I would assume that Otterbein is looking at 2 downs, here as the stadium comes alive.
Belandra as long as 24 yards on the year, so they would be outside this range. As Corley throws it over the middle, it's caught by a receiver and brought down inside the 5. That's Bales again. He picks up the first down. Oh, they call him just short. They call him short at the 5. They say he was popped out on the near side. It'll be 4th down and 2.
Looks like Otterbein's bringing in a couple of additional tight ends. Looks like they're gearing up for another run play. They only need a couple, bringing in some extra bodies to help them pick up just a few yards.
4th down and 2. The lone receiver is Bales on the near side and Menji on the far side. Griffin in the backfield with Corley. The give is to Griffin. Griffin goes right. Griffin hits pay dirt. And Otterbein takes a 7-point lead in the Battle of the Oars with 1:28 left to play here in the 3rd quarter.
That is an absolute killer. I think there were 3 holding penalties on that drive. And for Otterbein to come back and continue to find a way, overcoming the setbacks after the penalties, that is a killer. I'm excited for Capital to get the ball back in their hands, but just unfortunate for big play in the game here.
And Belandra doinks it off the left upright, and it is a 7-point game, or 6-point game.
Yeah, we talked about that in the first half. Every single point is going to matter. I think Capital has the weapons to be able to take a big shot down the field. They can pull even here quickly, but man, every single point matters, and for those 2 extra points to be missed by both schools has kept this really interesting as Capital's going to get the ball back.
So that'll make it an even touchdown with an extra point. A 7-point game here late in this 3rd quarter. And if you're Capital, you have to be excited about that gift there after Graham missed the first one after the false start penalty.
Yeah, really interesting how the game has played out, and Otterbein has done kind of what they've wanted to do on offense on the ground for sure, but here we are, 1 score, and as Tyler Love takes the field, I mean, we just have to have a sustained drive here. We have to take care of the ball. We can't have any silly penalties, and who knows, maybe we'll get another giant return.
Belandra sends it Marcel's way. Marcel bouncing off a Cardinal. He'll be tackled from behind at the 31-yard line. Better starting field position for the Comets after starting within their 20 several times to start possessions in the first half.
Yeah, anytime you can start farther away or farther down the field than your own 25-yard line, that is a positive starting field position. And we'll see what Coach Foose dials up here as Capital takes the ball.
Love in the gun, flanked by Johnson. The pitch does go to Johnson on the left side. He gets a block. Flag out on the far side. 2 fly in after Johnson picks up 3 out to the 34. A lot of laundry here in the second half after a fairly clean first half of play.
Yeah. Even though there was a penalty on the play, I love the play design. That was a really quick pitch, almost an extended handoff to get the ball into Kasim Johnson's hands. I love getting him into space quick. Unfortunately, this one's coming back.
The hold that they called there was on the receiver Armstead in the boundary. So that'll move Capital back to the 20-yard line. It'll be first down and 20. Line to gain is the 40. Comets looking to the near side. Substitute Haynes rushes in. Love looks to the sideline, getting instructions from the coaching staff. As Otterbein will now take the opportunity to substitute as well. Love in the gun. Johnson moving from the right hip of Love to his left. Love takes a snap. Ball goes out on that quick pitch and catch again to Yonker. Yonkers with a shove gets his way out to the 29.
And from Coach Foos's standpoint, I love what he did. I love what he did there. Really, really simple route, really simple concept. Pitch, catch, move the sticks forward, get out of bounds. You stop the clock. Well, I guess it's looks like it's rolling here again. But really, really simple, easy win for Tyler Love to just start some momentum and get this offense moving in the right direction.
Love takes the snap, rolls out to his left side. He's looking downfield. That's Armstead. Ran out of room on the far boundary.
Man, you know, we've seen that a couple different times. That's probably maybe the fourth time we've seen them take a deep shot today, and it's there. They just have not been able to connect. And I think, man, even if we're able to pull one of those down, that is going to infuse a ton of energy into our sideline, really kickstart a momentum and help us get into a spot where we can tie this ball game.
Love today is 4 for 12 for 30 yards passing on the day. It's felt like he's had more success today considering the opportunities that they've had downfield, called back for penalty or otherwise. Love takes the snap, 3-step drop, looks over the middle, squeezes it through a window to Armstead, and Armstead rumbles his way out to the 50-yard line.
Yeah, Tyler Love putting his arm strength on display right there. That was a super tight window, and I'm thankful he's able to connect. It looks like Capital's right back on the ball, and unfortunately the quarter is going to run out here, but I love the intention to get right back on the ball, capitalize on the momentum. We'll see what they do with the rest of the drive.
We'll step aside in the Battle of the Oars. The Otterbein Cardinals are leading the Capital Comets 20-13. We'll be back in a few minutes.
And remember, fans, only approved or credentialed individuals may enter the field level at any time before, during, or after today's game. Field Ohioans know there's bold, and then there's Buckeye bold. What do your charges down the trail? Finding a new trick. Taking down big. With the point, we want to hear you scream loud. Still harder. Way harder. With the trade made by Ohio, for Ohio. Bottles right here in Columbus since 1965. Ohio bottled, Buckeye bold.
Welcome back to Columbus, Ohio, where the Cardinals are leading the Comets 20-13. Love takes the snap, drops back under pressure, and he'll just have to get rid of the football out of bounds. It was outside the pocket, no intentional grounding. As the Comets start the series at 2nd and 10.
Got a different personnel package coming into the ball game. We have two quarterbacks on the field right now. Let's see if Coach Fu styles up something a little creative with the personnel.
It's Lineberger again, the freshman, now going under center. 4 receiver set, including the normal quarterback Love up on the far side. Love comes in motion. He truly takes the snap. The give is to Lineberger. Lineberger rolls to his left, looks downfield, tries to connect there with Haynes. Couldn't quite find him. Excuse me, that was Hanukkah. Couldn't quite find him. It'll be 3rd down. Love looks like he was barking over there at Lineberger. Say, take what you can get there. He had a little bit of grass in front of him.
Yeah, unfortunately it pushes them, their offense into 3rd and long. But, gosh, you got to love the creativity I know I've seen Oklahoma, Washington State do that with Cam Ward and John Mateer, 2 quarterbacks on the field at the same time, taking a handoff, pitching, to the other one, and it really puts the defense in a bind.
Love immediately under pressure, and he'll take up off the middle, sidestepping a defender. 10-5, touchdown, Love. That may not have been the way you drew it up, but that'll do the job for the Comets.
And I almost think, Nathan, it was a design. It was a design run. Otterbein showed some pressure. There was a man in Tyler Love's face. He made him miss and ran into exactly where the blitz came from. And unfortunately, nobody was there for 50-plus yards. And Tyler Love, with his feet, has brought this ball game back into 1 point for the Comets. So, gosh, his feet are deadly. And, again, made one man miss and ran right to where the pressure was coming from. And here we are.
And they are going for 2 to take the lead, and it is incomplete. A puzzling play call there for the Comets. You had the chance to tie the game here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, really confused. Really confused. I'm not even sure what they were trying to do out of the formation. It looked like Tyler Love was trying to throw the ball. Just there wasn't a Comet in the area, and unfortunately, we are not tied here. Putting the ball back into Otterbein's hands. Otterbein's whole MO this entire day has been to control the clock, run the ball, just run between the tackles and kill the clock all day. And I would not be surprised if we see a really, really, really heavy dose of that as Otterbein's trying to milk this clock for as much as they can here to close the game out.
14:37 left to play here in this 4th quarter. The Comets trail the Cardinals 20-19.
Hey, Mike, as we just talk about rivalry. I know you're a baseball guy, as well here. What's the baseball rivalry look like between Capital and Otterbein?
It's pretty much the same thing as football. There's a lot of emotions that run high during the games. There's a lot of chirping going on. That's what makes the game so fun. I mean, being able to play in those kind of games, that's what it's all about. And, I'm really excited this year. We have
extracurriculars after the play. After Graham sends it into the end zone for a touchback.
You just mentioned rivalries, and in a game like this, you kind of expect plays like that to happen. I mean, a lot of physicality, a lot of emotions running high. And
yeah, we saw it all the way through warm-ups. We saw it from the opening kick. We've seen it all the way through this ball game today, and unfortunately, emotions are running over. We'll get the call here. Yeah, and unfortunately, Capital was called for unsportsmanlike conduct, but I know we have a larger roster in years past. I wonder, just situational awareness, a little bit of maturity. We need a little bit heavier dose of that. Like I said, it's going to come down to 1 point. It's going to come down to last possession. We can't afford a penalty of that magnitude here to just help Otterbein continue to milk the clock.
That was the freshman Robinson. As you talk about maturity, Griffin does get the handoff here, and he'll pick up a short gain after bouncing up off a couple Comet defenders. He picked up about 2 out to the 42.
So we have a little bit of break in the action. Obviously today is homecoming, and it has been such an encouragement to see some former teammates of mine, Kevin Brackman, Sean Papp, Sean Hausler, Tom Hausler. I mean, some of the guys that I had the chance to play with several years ago now, but so good to be back on campus.
Snap goes to Corley. Corley gives it to guess who? Griffin once again. Griffin pulled down from behind. He'll pick up a couple. Once again, out to the 46. Third down upcoming.
I'm sorry, Nathan. Yeah, obviously we have seen a heavy dose of Otterbein's run game. When they have needed yards in a hurry, they have utilized their tight ends up the seams. And here we are, 3rd and 5. Otterbein needs to retain possession here. Capital's got some momentum on offense. I would not be surprised if we see some sort of a pass, out of this formation here.
Line to gain is the 50. The pop pass to Bales. Bales breaks free around the left side. He'll make the line to gain. There is a flag down. A lot of laundry here late in the second half. It does look like against the Cardinals, so that will negate the first down and set up 3rd down and long.
Mike, talk to me a little bit about you're a junior here at Capital, so you've been in the rivalry a little bit. Have you had the chance? I'm sure you've had the chance to play at Otterbein. Have you been able to play Otterbein here? Kind of talk a little bit more about that baseball rivalry between the two crosstown schools.
Yeah, being in my junior year, I've been a starter the past 2 years in center field, and I remember my freshman year, that first game against Otterbein. It's definitely a different environment. With their fans, they are really heavy on the chirps. They make sure that you're in their house.
Corley takes the snap, deep drop, looking over the middle. Can't quite connect. He was looking with Menji. The ball will fall harmlessly to the turf. Comets will get the football back. 12:36 left to play here in this 4th quarter.
And yeah, that's great. I think Corley has found a little success with his arm through the air today. Just wasn't able to connect with his receiver. I was actually expecting. You could tell the ball was overthrown. I was actually expecting Capital to make an interception on that play, but just really thankful Capital's going to get the ball back here with a chance to go up.
Johnson back to receive the punt. It'll bounce at the 30. Looked like it was going to go out of bounds on the far side, but it'll roll back towards the middle of the field and be downed at the 21. Opportunity, Mike, now for this Capital offense.
Definitely is. Let's see if they can capitalize on this one.
12:36 left to play here in this 4th quarter. Comets trailing by 1 after electing to go for the 2-point conversion on this last series after the long touchdown run by quarterback Tyler Love. Tyler Love, the Asheville, Ohio native, the Tees Valley product, now in the shotgun for the Comets. Flanked by Johnson. Love looking to throw, overthrows Yonker once again. Looking his way along the far sideline, and it'll sail out of bounds.
Yeah, again, we have seen him complete a pass just like that to Yonker earlier in the ball game. That is a really, really simple, probably first day of camp route they're installing, and would love to see a little bit more consistency from Tyler Love's arm. But now we're starting behind the sticks here at 2nd and long.
Love takes the snap, looks to the near side, throws it out in the flat there for Johnson. They did rule it a forward pass. It is incomplete as it falls to the turf. 3rd down and 10 upcoming for the Comets. $12:30 left to play on a beautiful brisk day here in Bexley. 53 degrees. Wind slightly blowing into the stadium from the south. 4 receiver set. Haynes checks into the game for the Comets. Johnson motions out to the near side as Love looking downfield. That's Yonker. Yonker, a little bit of hand fighting on this far side. as the ball falls incomplete. It'll be 4th down and 10. Comets will have to punt. It'll be Graham and Lineberger into the game. On the special teams play, Lineberger earlier in the game had a 22-yard punt on the pooch kick. He now comes on the near side to be a gunner. Graham catches it, 3 steps, drives his boot through the ball, line drive kick. Really nice bounce as it works its way down to the 32. That's where the Cardinals would take over. 12-13 left to play here in this 4th quarter.
Yeah, really fortunate of Capital Special Teams to be able to flip the field as far as they did. Just disappointing to come out and go 3 and out and not really move the ball. I just wonder, with 12-13 left in the game, I wonder how many more opportunities Capital's offense is going to have. And so, yeah, would love to see Capital's defense try to bottle Otterbein's run game, put the emphasis on Corley's arm, and see if we can get the ball back here with some decent field position. Who knows? Maybe we'll come up with another turnover. It would be a pretty opportune time for Capital's defense to turn Otterbein's offense over here.
Corley in the pistol, the give to Griffin. Griffin muscled down to the ground after a 3-yard gain. Solid tackling from the Comets there. They'll stop Griffin after a short gain out to the 35.
Yeah, Miles Misi did a great job of not letting the Otterbein back outside the tackle. He did a great job staying upfield, forcing him inside, and then engaging with his lead shoulder to bring him down ultimately. Great job keeping contained and setting up 2nd and long here for Otterbein.
Corley with DiLorenzo in the backfield, gives it to him. He's met right at the line and brought down. They faked the pop pass to Braden Bales, and it'll bring up 3rd down and long. Opportunity for the Comets to get off the field.
Yeah, and that's almost, I mean, we saw an excellent job by Wesley Armstead just setting the tone physically. I don't know if we've really seen a ton of that throughout the game today, and putting Otterbein in a bind 3rd and long, but doing it with the physicality and doing it setting the tone brought this stadium to life.
Snap goes to Corley. Corley standing in the pocket under pressure and goes down. The sack by Jaden Carter, the Baden, Ohio product. Huge play for the Comets. You know, in Hamilton, they're happy right about now.
Yeah, excellent job on the pass rush from Capital just to keep fighting. But I give all the credit to Capital's secondary. Otterbein was trying to put the ball on Corley's arm, and he was trying to throw down the field, did not have an option. And combining that coverage, the excellent coverage by Capital's secondary, as well as the pass rush, ended up bringing Corley down well behind the line.
Bailey Johnson will let it go once again. And it'll roll inside the 30 down to the 26. That's where the Comets will take over. 9:54 left to play here in this 4th quarter. Mike and Matt, how can the Comets stay on schedule? That we've seen them be successful when they've been in 3rd and manageable, 2nd and manageable on this drive.
I think it's knowing their strengths. You look back to the last drive. They tried to go in the air heavily, and that didn't work out. And in this quarter alone, they're 0 for 5 with passing, and with the rushing, you saw what happened with the touchdown. And with a running back like Johnson in the backfield, I think getting into his hands, that's when good things will happen.
The snap goes to Love. Love pulls it out of the belly of Armstead. And on the keeper, he'll pick up about half the yardage needed to move the sticks. Comets growing into this game dynamically through the rush. 9:30 left to play here in this fourth quarter as Love looks to the sideline for instructions. Relays them to his front four. He's flanked by Johnson in a 3-receiver set. The snap goes into the belly of Johnson. Johnson makes a man miss. He takes another cut, and he'll pick up the first down out to the 41.
And that's where Johnson shines. Once he gets in the open field, he makes that move. You know, you can see how shifty he is as soon as he gets the ball, and that's, you know, where he makes his money at.
Yeah,
Comets going quickly. Snap goes once again to Johnson. Johnson, another jump cut inside. He'll pick up 4 on first down.
Yeah, sorry to jump in there, Nathan. Apologize, Mike. I think you're right on cue. You know, for Capital to just continue to sustain the drive, we've seen it play out. They just have to do the fundamental things: throw, catch, make somebody miss, keep moving the ball forward, finish your runs forward. You know where you're at down and distance-wise, and just retain possession. We cannot afford to turn the ball over here.
Armstead, Renz, and Yonker on the far side. Hanukkah on the near side. Flanked by Johnson. Fumble on the snap. Love picks it up off the turf, and he'll make what he can with it. He'll skirt out close to the marker, and they'll give it to him at the 49 of the Cardinals.
Wow, very, very, very fortunate. I don't know if the snap hit the center on the way through his legs, but bounced. We saw the snap bounce back to Tyler Love, and he just instantly turned into a runner and took advantage of the situation, and thankful we get a reset on the downs. This play right here is very, very important to get out ahead of the sticks. We'll see what happens.
Love looking to the near side. He'll find a wide open Hanukkah for his first reception of the game. The Cincinnati, Ohio West Claremont product will move the sticks to the 36.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean, we couldn't ask for anything more. Capital's got a ton of momentum. 7:33 left in the fourth, and they are moving the ball. Everybody understands how important this drive is, and yeah, would love to see, you know, what positions Coach Foose is going to put this offense into. It looks like they're spread the formation. They've got twins on both sides, really trying to spread the formation out.
Love takes the snap, looking over the middle for Johnson. Johnson tried to play defensive back, couldn't quite prevent the interception as Anderson, the Cardinal, comes down with the pick at the 10-yard line. Love tried to push the ball down the field to his running back. Couldn't quite connect. And the arm punt will set the Cardinals up with the football, leading by 1 and 7 minutes left to play.
Yeah, I love the play design. I think they were strategic to put their athlete in space. He definitely had a step on the defender. We couldn't put that much air under the ball, and just allowed for the safety to come across, make a great play, and you know, ultimately, I just talked about it a couple plays ago. We just could not afford a turnover, and
Burnlore Stadium roaring to life as the handoff goes to Griffin. Griffin stopped at the line. Talk about this Capital front here in the second half.
Yeah, to force a loss, tackle for loss on the first play of that drive after a turnover. I think that's excellent to try to keep the momentum in Capital's sideline here, force Otterbein to punt. You know, excellent start to the series.
The snap goes to Corley. Corley looking on the near side, dropped by his receiver. He was trying to find Walker. Walker started to turn away before he had secured the football. 3rd down and 12 now for the Comets. Huge opportunity for them to get off the field.
And if you're Capital's defense, you almost want to expect a pass play. You already know it's not going to be a run. Because if you just look at this quarter alone, they're actually negative in their rushing yards. So I would like to see their secondary come into play here.
Long down and distance. 6:27 left to play here in the fourth quarter as Corley takes the snap, bobbles it, looks on the far side, and he'll complete. That's Duning's first reception of the game, and he'll move the chains to the 22.
Unbelievable. I mean, you could almost hear the air just go out of the stadium. Bobbled snap, 3rd and long, and for them to convert, just killer. Man, really, really tough.
Corley cool under pressure there. As the pocket was collapsing, was still managed to be able to get the ball out after bobbling the snap. And Dooning, who's been so effective this year for them, gets his first reception of the game. Snap goes to Corley. Corley gives it to Griffin. Nothing there. That's Marcus Young Jr. again there on the stop.
Nathan, I think you brought up a great point. Coming out of halftime, just wondering if all the carries and all of the attempts by Corley are just starting to stack up, here late in the game. He just hasn't been as effective on the ground. And, just wonder, to your point earlier in the broadcast, wonder if he's starting to feel it a little bit. His legs are starting to get heavy, and, we'll see if that continues.
That play will bring the crowd back into it as the pop pass goes to Bales again around the left side. He'll be knocked out around the original line of scrimmage at the 22-yard line. Tackle there by Sally. That'll bring up 3rd down and long once again. Clock ticks under 5. We're at 4:45 left to play here in the 4th quarter. Bernlohr Stadium roars back to life. Comets need to get the football back. They need one more possession, one more opportunity to take the lead in this game. Corley, flanked by Griffin, takes the snap, under pressure, hit in the backfield. They can't quite bring him down, and he'll be right at the marker. They'll give him the first down on the draw.
So frustrating. I mean, goodness sakes, Capital's defense has just fought tooth and nail, and to give up a run for the first down like that is just really, really hard to stomach. The clock is just not slowing down at all. Otterbein knows that. Capital knows that for sure. We have to find a way to get the ball back.
Capital still with its full complement of timeouts, all 3, same for the Cardinals. And the 2-minute timeout is looming with 3:35 left to play. Corley takes the snap, gives it to the freshman DiLorenzo. DiLorenzo met at the line and stopped. Clock winding. No timeouts from the Comets yet. Bailey Johnson on the near side. The junior from Kingsland. Engaging with the crowd. 2nd down and 10. 3 minutes left to play. Cardinals going to take as much clock as they can as the play clock winds 5, 4. Snap comes off. Handoff is to DiLorenzo. DiLorenzo is stopped after a 2-yard gain. Out to the 34. Line to gain is the 42. It'll bring up 3rd down and long.
Yeah, and we're really running the risk now of Otterbein being able to just run the clock out. I mean, it's a real thing. This 3rd down play is going to probably determine, who's going to walk away with the win today.
Coach Foos is going to talk about it with his team. 2:37 left to play here in this 4th quarter. The Cardinals leading the Comets 20-19. You're watching Capital Football here on Flow Sports. Welcome back to homecoming at Bernlohr Stadium. We've got a nail-biter here in Bexley. 2:37 left to play. 3rd down and 8 for the Cardinals, leading the Comets 20-19. Capital bringing pressure. Corley dropping back, looking downfield, and overthrown for Bales.
And I am really interested, like kind of almost confused here on the play call, because what did that actually do? It stopped the clock for Capital. Yeah, they're going to punt here, but 4th and long, that was probably the last thing I expected Otterbein to do was throw deep, and just the percentage of the throw just wasn't there.
That was Landon Shuttler there on the coverage from Bluffton, Ohio, as Johnson is back to receive the punt. Johnson fields it, fair catch called, and the Comets will take over at the 37.
Okay, I'm excited. We have decent field position here. We've got a little bit of momentum. You can see guys trying to pump each other up on the sideline here. We have got the ball in our court, and I think we've got a really good chance to put at least a field goal kicker in position to win this rivalry game. You can tell, Coach Foose, you can look at him from the sidelines. He's rallying his guys. We have to take care of the football on this final drive.
Love coming onto the field. There is the 2-minute warning and still 2 timeouts here for the Comets. 2:24 left to play in this 4th quarter as Love takes the snap, looks to the far side, can't quite connect with Armstead. That ball will fall incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10. Do or tie time now for the Comets. Ty Bookman, who we have not seen recently in this game, has been the only person to convert on a field goal attempt this season. Love on the option, gives it out to Johnson. Johnson is out of bounds at about the 40. He'll pick up a few on 2nd down.
And I love the play design there. I mean, bring Kasim Johnson in motion, let Tyler Love read the defensive end or the outside linebacker, and put the ball in Kasim Johnson's hand in space, and he gets out of bounds as well. So Capital moves the ball, stops the clock getting out of bounds, but now, we're facing a 3rd and long. And again, it goes back to fundamentals. If we convert, on the pass play, first play of the series there, really, really simple out route. If we're able to connect on that, and then it's 2nd and 5 instead of trying to play catch up behind the sticks at 3rd and 5 or 3rd and 6 here. So the little plays make such a big difference when you're trying to put a drive together and sustain some momentum to put yourself into scoring position.
I mean, needless without saying, it's 4-down territory the rest of the game, right? You're 3rd and 5. Ideally, you can pick this up right away, but you do have 2 downs to get there, and you do have 2 timeouts in 2 minutes, which is a fair amount of time. Capital was content to let it run to the 2-minute warning. They can talk about this coming opportunity. They'll try to get in range for Ethan Graham, who has never attempted a field goal attempt in his collegiate career. The true freshman from Lancaster, Ohio. Love takes the snap, rolls to his left, looking downfield. That's Armstead. Armstead was grabbed a little bit down there, and there comes the flag. That'll move the chains to the Comets on the penalty. And they'll call pass interference there on the Cardinals.
They've been wanting it all game, and they got it there.
Officials conversing on the near side by the pile of laundry. They'll call that on Emmanuel Watson, the 6'1 sophomore. It's been a battle downfield all day.
Yeah, and if I'm Coach Foose, I am communicating heavy dose of composure here. Very fortunate to get the pass interference penalty. We're into Otterbein territory, but we got a long way to go. Okay, we have to take care of the football, do the little plays, the little things right to keep this moving.
1st and 10 at the Otterbein 44 as they go downfield for Hanukkah. Hanukkah's dragged out at the 5. A huge play. Love connects on that one.
Man, they have had their shots. They've had their opportunities all day long. Tyler Love's arm is live. We have known that all year. And for him to connect and put Capital in a position to take the lead here is a huge, huge play. Hanukkah did an unbelievable job creating separation off the snap. What he did close to the line of scrimmage to create that separation on his outside release down Capital's sideline was exceptional. Had a step on the Otterbein defender the entire way and just made an excellent focused catch to bring the ball in and put Capital realistically in a place to win this ball game. We are well within, I know Capital's place kicker doesn't have any sort of attempts, any sort of real experience, outside of today's game action. But, I would think, he's well within his range to put a field goal through. And now, honestly, now it's a clock management issue from Coach Foos's standpoint. We're so close. We're knocking on the door. But how are we going to approach this to manage the game well? And not give Otterbein the ball back with too much time on the clock.
1:47 left to play in this 4th quarter. Otterbein still has the full complement of timeouts at 3. The Comets just called their second of the half to discuss exactly what you were just talking about. As Hanukkah, who just had the last reception, is subbed off. Trent Renz comes in. Officials will hold so that Otterbein can substitute. 10 seconds left on the play clock.
Taking his sweet time. Snap the ball. Oh, he's still on the...
Love takes the snap. Looks over the middle. Finds Yonker, and it is incomplete on the turf.
I'm really, really interested to know. It seemed like Otterbein had too many men on the field. We do have a penalty. I'm not sure it's related to too many men on the field just now. We'll see what the call is.
There was a Cardinal whose helmet came off in the back of the end zone. We'll wait for the call. More substitutions now for the Cardinals. Yeah, it looks like there was an extra man on the field there for Otterbein.
Ineligible man downfield, offense number 75. That penalty is declined. Pass interference, offense number 0. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot.
That is a crushing foul. They called offensive pass interference on Capital. That'll move them back 15 yards. Clock is stopped at 1:42. It'll be first down and goal from the 19. Only burning 5 seconds there on the play. And you went from maybe punching it in and taking a touchdown lead to trying to take care of the football and stay in range. As Love takes the snap, he slides down safely, will force Otterbein to take their first time out of the half. No timeout's been called yet. Interesting strategy here from the Cardinals. 2nd down and 19. Love snaps it with 25 seconds left on the play clock. He would pump fakes, and he's taken down at the 11-yard line. He was looking Yonker's way in the far side corner of the end zone. The Cardinals still have not elected to call a timeout. There they call it at 1 minute. If Otterbein wasn't going to take the timeout there, Tyler Love snapped it with 25 seconds on the play clock. That is a lot of time that you're leaving on the clock there for the Cardinals.
Yeah, there's been a lot that has happened in just a short amount of time. We had Yonker wide open. I can't stress. I don't know if you're watching the broadcast online, but Yonker was wide open to the side that Tyler Love was rolling to. I think he just got caught up in terms of trying to make a play with his feet, just didn't keep his eyes downfield, and I think we missed one on that play, but here we are within striking distance here from the 11, third down. Man, interesting to see what happens and how quickly, if Coach Foose is saving that final timeout to be able to run his kicker on and hopefully win this game right at the buzzer.
3rd and goal from the 11 now for the Comets as Love is in the gun, 3-receiver set. The tight end Cucker rolls out to the right. Officials will now halt play. It'll be a snap infraction there on the center. That's Gasca. The Milton, Florida product. He's a freshman. It'll set back the Comets 5, back to the 16. Probably talking about a 33-yarder here.
Yeah, from here it will be probably a 34-yard field goal, I think.
Snap goes to Love. Love just has to get rid of the football. I mean, Love hates to throw that away to stop the clock, but you can't take a sack there to push him out of field goal range. Smart play there by the junior to get rid of it.
All right, it's game time. We're looking at a 32-yard field goal.
Graham's first ever collegiate attempt to give the Comets the lead here in the 4th quarter. Hold is down, and it's blocked! Otterbein blocks the field goal, and it puts them in pole position here in the Battle of the Oars.
Unfortunately, that kick by Graham just never had a shot. It really never got above the offensive and defensive lines. And man, just unfortunate. It never had a chance. It really didn't. So, man, to the seniors that have just stuck with this program and really scrapped and clawed and stuck with this thing. I hate that for them. But man, just gritty game on both sides, and unfortunately, we just didn't do enough to win this one today.
They'll put a few seconds back there on the game clock. Considering Capital only has one timeout, won't make much of a difference in the end. As the Otterbein offense comes back onto the field in victory formation. Corley takes the snap, he'll take a knee, and somersault backwards. Coach Foose in this rivalry matchup will take his last timeout. Barring anything crazy on this play, Otterbein will improve to 49, 46, and 3 in the all-time series, and will get their first win of the season. And this one will be particularly sweet for the Cardinals, considering it's over their sworn rival here in city.
Yeah, just unfortunate. This one hurts. We've had some hard losses this year, but to be in a position to really win this one and win this rivalry game and to come up just a little bit short, it hurts. It hurts really bad. As a former player, I know there were so many former players that were here in the stadium wanting to watch this one today and really feeling like, we had a realistic chance to pull this one out and continue to take a step forward in the OAC. To lose it this way, it hurts.
You were mentioning earlier in the game that it was a difference of just a couple scores, right, that has changed the narrative of the season, right? I mean, you're a couple scores away from being 4-2. Now make that a couple scores away from being 5-2, right? 1 point, that extra point, right, that was missed early in the game. And then you talk about the missed 2-point conversion attempt, as the Cardinals will have to knee it one more time, is the difference in this ball game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it just goes back to the attention to detail in practice. I mean, attention to detail in the weight room, through the winter, and it's just really unfortunate. I hate it for, the seniors on this squad, and there has to be just continued emphasis on discipline and taking care of the football, and unfortunately we came up short today.
And as the clock hits 0, the Cardinals officially have won the battle for the oar here on the gridiron. This was one that a lot of the Capital faithful thought was a winnable game. Of course, when you look down the season schedule, you're not looking ahead, right? I mean, in a rivalry game, and especially with Mount Union looming ahead, this is a bleak result here for the Comets. Cardinals come into Bernlohr Stadium, spoiling the homecoming here for the Capital Comets. Your final stat line on the day: Tyler Love for the Comets ends up going 7 for 21 with 1 crucial interception on 105 yards. Did have the 40-yard bomb there to Preston Anika there late. Corley, his signal caller for the opposition, went 13 for 19 for 134 yards, 68.4% completion percentage. Otterbein did dominate the time of possession with that dominant run game. They dominated 35 minutes there of total possession, closing out this game with, as Otterbein is celebrating on the field with the oar. Otterbein 196 yards on the ground compared to the Capital Comets 177. Pretty evenly matched to the air. Otterbein ended up with 134 yards, Comets with 105. Next up for the Cardinals is they'll go on the road to Heidelberg University. They'll make the trip up to Tiffin, place where the Comets narrowly lost 30-27 on their previous road trip. Upcoming as I mentioned, the Comets will go to Alliance, Ohio. They'll take on the number 2 team in the country and what many people consider as a national title contender in Mount Union. In the 98th matchup in this historical rivalry, the final score is 20-19. The Otterbein Cardinals over the Capital Comets. You've been watching the Capital Comets here on Flow Sports. For our entire team, for the Hall of Famer Matt Spitz, for Mike and Drizak, this is so long for Bernlohr Stadium, where the Comets fall to the Cardinals 2019. Have a good night, everyone.